Thank you, Madam Speaker. To the bill?
To the bill.
So the Student Success Act fulfills a promise decades in the making. This legislation will allow us to finally begin building a model of public education system for every Oregonian. As someone who is a product of Oregon Public Schools, the Student Success Act is personal to me. I have experienced the short school years, the oversized classroom, the cutting of extracurricular activities. Our students deserve better, and the Student Success Act and unprecedented investment it will make go a long way to ensuring that Oregon kids don't have to experience the challenges that I face. My public education in Oregon provided me with the opportunities I needed to find success in my adult life. It propelled me to college and graduate school, and ultimately here to the Oregon House of Representatives. But my story is not everyone's story. In my own family, graduating from high school was the exception. I have 3 other siblings who did not make it out of high school. And we ended up going through 6 different elementary schools, 3 different middle schools, and even though we stayed at the same high school, we moved 4 times. And the trauma that we lived through in poverty really had a disproportionate impact on us. And unfortunately, my siblings still to this day don't have a degree. And so for me, this is personal, because I want to see an education system where they would have had the supports, the social-emotional supports, the right classroom size so the teachers can provide one-on-one supports, where they can go and stay after school and have an extracurricular activity where they can get involved and find their agency. So over the last 15 months, we toured the state of Oregon, and we hit every corner of the state. And we heard time and time again about the need to develop a more equitable education system. The reality is some communities have been historically marginalized, and we see that in the disparities of our outcomes today. We have to make sure that every student has an equal opportunity to succeed. I want to speak specifically to some of what is included in the legislation in terms of low-income students, students of color, and other marginalized communities. First and foremost, the distribution of the monies to districts target low-income students. The Student Success Act will double weight poverty in determining how grants from the Student Investment Account will be distributed. And I think this is critical if we are to really target these resources to the lowest of incomes. The need to do more to equitably serve low-income students is an issue that is not just prevalent in my 4 East Portland school districts, but also in the districts all over the state. In addition to receiving funding, schools must show that they will eliminate opportunity gaps. So let me just walk through some of the things that are in this bill that I'm really proud of and that I'm happy to when it comes to the goal of closing our opportunity gap. So we have statewide equity initiatives in this package. We have the African American Black Student Success Plan, with our goal of funding it at $12 million of each biennium of funds to close that achievement gap. And I think it's important to outline that in 2018, the African American Black graduation rate was at 73%. And for Latino, it was 76%. For Native, it was 73%. And for Native American, Alaska Native, it was 63.9%. And Native Hawaiian Pacific Islander, it was at 73%. And I know we can do better. And these are the numbers that we capture. These aren't the folks who are pushed out or what used to be called dropped out. So there's also funding for the American Indian or Alaska Native Student Success Plan. And we're investing $6.5 million and ongoing in each biennium. Investing $1 million in the first year to create the Latino Student Success Plan, with the future opportunities for additional grant investments. We also created an early learning equity fund. And you probably heard me talk about it a lot with you all, because this is where it matters, right? You capture them early on, and you provide them with culturally specific and linguistically appropriate education, and you involve their parents so their parents are lifelong participants in their kids' education. And to me, it's personal because I'll tell you, my mom never participated in any of my educational activities.
Thank you for the flag. I was not watching the clock. Excuse me, Representative. Representative Gorsuch yields his time. Please continue, Representative.
Thank you, Representative Gorsuch. The only time my mom was able to come to a parent-teacher night was in high school, and she cried. My mom worked 2 to 3 jobs, and she still cleans houses to this day. And she came to my high school because I was finally doing really well. I'm somebody who didn't do very well academically, K-8, and started to excel in high school because of amazing teachers, and also my brain probably developed well. But she cried because she felt bad that she could never been there. She couldn't be there for any of my previous check-ins with teachers about my grades. And she never understood the system, the education system, as an immigrant to this country. And I realized at this age, at this time, that if my mom would have went through a program like the Early Learning Equity Fund has, the culturally specific, linguistically appropriate, that would have taught her about how our education system works, how to stay engaged regardless if you know the language or not, how to make sure that your kid is learning at that preventative, strategic age, I believe my mom could have been more engaged throughout my whole educational system and felt like she had a role to play in our educational outcome. And so to me, Early Childhood Equity Fund, it's personal, and we're going to do a lot of good. It's $20 million of ongoing funding per each biennium, investing in a large population in Oregon. We also have universal access to school meals and high-cost disability account of $40 million per biennium. And we prioritize equity in the district plans before receiving any funds from the student investment account. School districts have to show, and eligible public charter schools, school districts must develop a 4-year plan to show how they'll use these new investments to improve student outcomes and close opportunity gaps for historically marginalized students and meet the mental and behavioral health needs of all students. These are the equitable investments that we need. You know, Madam Speaker, I am not going to get emotional until this thing passes all the way through, and if it gets referred to the ballot, then we win there. I'll get emotional, but I'm going to hold my emotions because to me this is personal, like I've been saying over and over again. And I have a nephew who's in 2nd grade in the Reynolds School District on the board that I serve in. And it's my 2nd term, and it's been cuts after cuts. And it's been elimination of program after elimination of program. And it's been hearing teachers every board meeting come and testify on the realities that they face and the issues that our students are facing. And I know that that has a direct impact on not just my nephew, but on all students across the state, but especially those school districts that are struggling with high rates of homelessness and high rates of poverty. And we can do something about it. We have the power and ability to do something about it, and we've been trying for decades, and I am so encouraged that we are here in this day, that we're going to invest in a public education system that creates some equity and a pathway for students like my nephew to have an equal opportunity to succeed in our educational system. And so, Madam Speaker, I strongly urge everyone's I vote, and si se puede. Thank you.
Thank you,